Hi, welcome to Eyogahub. My name is Frankie and welcome to Prenatal Yoga for all trimesters. So today I have a few props with me. So I have two bolsters, I have two blankets, I have a few blocks, and I have a chair nearby just in case I want to use it. Now if you're doing this from home and you don't have all these yoga props, you can use pillows instead of bolsters. So probably bed pillows would be the best option. I'm pretty sure you can find some blankets, and instead of the yoga blocks, you can use books or anything that sort of resembles the shape and size of a yoga block. Chair, I'm pretty sure you could sort of find it at home as well. So once you have yourself set up, just a few things to go through before we begin. The main thing is listen to your body. Listen to all the sensations within the body and don't force anything. If something doesn't feel right, don't push yourself to do it, and that's pretty much it. So we can slowly get started and dive into our class for today. I'm going to straight away grab either my bolster or a blanket and just place it underneath my sit bones, just so I get some leverage and a nice comfy seat. Of course, if it doesn't feel right, you don't have to use it. I'm going to cross my legs in whichever way feels good, and if it doesn't feel good at all, you can also take other options as well. So again, just listen to your body and what feels good for you. So just taking a nice comfortable seat and taking a few moments here to grow tall through the crown of our head and just to ground through our sit bones, and take a few moments to really observe the state of your body today. If you want to, you can close your eyes and noticing all the sensations within, noticing if there is any discomfort, anything that is calling for our attention today, any tension or tightness. Becoming aware of these sensations. Gently shifting our awareness to our emotional state. And observing all the emotions that are rushing through us, allowing them to be. Gently shifting our awareness to the state of our minds, noticing all the thoughts that are rushing through the mind. Finally, shifting the awareness towards our breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, beautiful deep breaths, becoming more present with every breath. Gently moving away from the mind chatter by focusing on the breath. We can now slowly place our hands onto our baby connect to our baby. Become aware of how amazing your body is at this very moment, building new life, growing new life. And then gently place your left palm onto your heart space and keep your right palm on your belly, and just feel the connection in the breath from your upper hand to your lower hand, so from the left palm to the right palm and vice versa. Feel this circular movement of the inhale and the exhale. Feel the expansion of the belly and the rib cage with every inhale, and feel how everything sort of collapses back with the exhale. And then gently move your right palm onto your left one. And just feel your heart space for a few more moments. And perhaps you would like to set an intention for today's class. This can be anything. You can focus on letting go of something. You can focus on forgiveness. You can choose any intention that you would like to. Or perhaps you can choose an affirmation for today's class, such as my body is strong, I'm in control, everything is just how it should be, and so on. Just make sure your affirmation is in the present time. And then you can gently release your hands back to your knees and continue this beautiful deep breath that we have just become aware of and perhaps deepened it a bit more. So we want to be breathing through the whole class with a lot of awareness, with a lot of presence, and not forgetting the breath. So just make sure that your pelvis is nice and stable, your rib cage is placed right above the pelvis, your shoulders above the rib cage. And to begin off with, your chin is parallel to the ground, and you can place the tip of your tongue onto your upper palate. And from here, let's just give our body a quick scan. So making sure there is no tension that is gripping on somewhere. Usually it's the forehead that we store hidden tension in, the jaw, shoulders, and the pelvis. So just scan these areas. Make sure your forehead is nice and relaxed. Your jaw is nice and relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. And your pelvis is relaxed. Beautiful. And from here, we're going to gently bring our chin towards our chest. Just feeling a nice, gentle stretch on the neck. Continue to breathe while slowly starting to glide your chin towards your left shoulder. And then gliding back to center and moving on to the other shoulder. Continue to move in your own pace. Don't forget to breathe. Gently warming up the body, stretching it out. Okay, one more time. And then come back to center. Lift your chin up. And then gently raise it towards the sky. Now you don't have to go deep, just a gentle stretch. And then come back to center. Now you can release your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then move back to center and do the other side. One more time each side. And then coming back to center. Beautiful. Okay, and the next inhale, we're going to create a big arm circle. Palms touch above the head, perhaps even gaze towards the palms, and as you exhale, bring your palms to your heart space. And continue to move. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, one more time. Inhale. And this time as you exhale, you're going to bring your right palm onto the ground, or perhaps a block if the ground is too far to reach, so you can modify the block on any height you would like to use. And the left arm reaches up and above. Then you want to make sure you're grounded in the sit bones. And you don't have to go deep, just a gentle side stretch. Another few moments. And then we're going to slowly bring our left palm onto the left part of the rib cage and stay for another few moments to really focus on the breath in this position, so you can really feel the left part of the rib cage expanding and collapsing with every inhale and every exhale. This can be a great focus point. Beautiful, and then gently push away. Inhale, big arm circle, and as you exhale, moving to the other side. So modify if you need to. You can soften this elbow as much as you want. Make sure you're not building up tension in the left shoulder, so relax it and ground through your sit bones. Another few moments. And then slowly bring the palm to the right part of the rib cage. Gentle breaths. And then gently push away, big arm circle. And exhale, release your hands to your heart space. Okay, awesome. We're going to warm up our wrists from here. So I'm going to interlace my fingers and then gently start circling in my wrists. And changing direction. Awesome, and then gently release, place your palms onto your knees. With the next inhale, I'm going to open the heart space up towards the front. And with the next exhale, I'm going to gently round the back. Inhale, open up. And exhale, round the back. And a few more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale last time. Exhale. And coming back to neutral spine position. From here I'm going to move into tabletop. So I'm going to remove my bolster for now. And I'm definitely going to grab my blankets or blanket and place them underneath my knees just so it's nice and soft and my knees stay safe. Okay, placing my palms underneath my shoulders, placing the knees underneath my hips. Finding a nice neutral spine position, gently pushing away from the floor, so protracting your shoulders and making sure you're not collapsing here. Awesome. And now from this position, we're going to first do a few rounds of cat-cow, so same as when we were seated. So on the inhale, I'm going to open my heart space up, and now depending on which trimester you're in, you want to modify the range of movement here. So if you're far along in your pregnancy, you're probably not going to go as deep. You're going to sort of do a more stabilized movement. And as you exhale, round the back, gaze towards the navel, and just moving a few more times here. One more inhale and exhale. Stay rounded this time. And from here, I'm going to just gently do a circular movement around my wrist. Now, if this is too much for your wrists, just avoid this. You don't have to do it. And then changing direction. So still very gently warming up the wrists. Okay, awesome. Coming back to neutral spine position. Now find the spine length. And from here we're going to stabilize the body, stabilize the trunk by using our deep belly muscles. So let's just bring some awareness into this. So making sure your arms are below the shoulders, knees below the hips, spine is nice and neutral. And you want to hug everything in here. So not grip tightly, we don't want to clench or grip anything. We want to just hug, like hugging the baby in a gentle manner, but strong enough so it stabilizes the upper body. So another way to sort of bring more awareness into what this feeling actually is, we'll do a little exercise. So we're going to tuck our toes and then we're going to untuck our toes. So you're going to keep repeating this, and I just want you to pay attention to what happens in this area when you tuck your toes. So if you feel even the slightest movement in your deep belly muscles when you tuck your toes, that is the stabilization that you want to sort of accentuate a bit more. Okay, awesome. So from here, untucking the toes, stabilizing the belly, breathing nice and deep. And I'm going to now reach my right leg to the back and then push my right heel into the ground, stretching that right calf. This should feel really, really nice. a nice stretch for the calves. And then I'm going to bring this right leg all the way to the left side and gaze over my left shoulder towards my right foot. And then coming back to center, I'm now going to lift my right leg up. So let me just move slightly away from the chair. So lifting the right leg up, making sure I'm not opening up in my hip here, so the hips stay nice and neutral. Now this is where the stabilization is going to really kick in. And I'm going to breathe here. If it gets too much, of course, you can lower the leg down, take a break. And if you feel like you can do a bit more, you can try reaching your left arm to the front. Beautiful. Now we're going to do a little movement, and of course just be wary of stabilizing the core and breathing. From here I'm going to tap the floor with my left hand and my right foot, and then I'm going to reach up again. And then tap and reach up. Tap, reach up. Of course you can find your own pace, you don't have to follow me. You can always rest, you can always avoid something if it's too much. Okay, one more time. And then I'm going to bring everything back down. Awesome. I'm just going to take a little break in between, bring my forearms to the ground, grabbing hold of my elbows, placing my forehead onto my forearms, and gently circling with my hips. And this usually feels really good. So you can do sort of side to side, you can do a circular movement, you can stay in one spot if it feels really nice for you. Awesome. So let's move back into tabletop when we're ready. So again, finding that nice neutral spine position, placing the palms below the shoulders, knees below the hips, reaching the left leg towards the back, stabilizing the belly, and then pushing the left heel towards the ground. Feeling that beautiful, nice stretch. Slowly bringing the left leg across to the right side and gazing over the right shoulder towards the left foot. Make sure you're not collapsing in your shoulders here, so keep gently pushing the floor, breathing. And then bring that left leg back to center and then lift it up to hip height or lower, whatever is your option today. Making sure the left hip doesn't open up, stabilizing the belly, and just breathing here, pushing away from the floor, not collapsing in the shoulders. Additionally, again, if you would like to add, you can reach your right hand towards the front and then adding that movement of tapping the ground. Forget to breathe, keep the stabilization present. And 2 more times. And the last time. And then moving back to tabletop. And then again repeating that awesome movement of bringing the forehead down and then circling the hips. A lot of pregnant women really enjoy this pose. That's what I noticed at least. let's take a child pose from here. So I'm going to open my knees a bit wider, just so you have room for the baby. I'm going to grab a bolster or pillow if you're at home and just come into a forward fold. Now again, modify this to what works for you. Perhaps you'll need a bit more layering, so you can add a blanket or you can add another pillow, and just stay here for a few moments. Connecting to the breath and noticing the state of the body, making sure that we don't have any tension that has sort of accumulated. If it has, that's okay. Just release it through the exhale. Perhaps you can even add an exhale through the mouth. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Let's do this a few more times. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. And one more time. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. And then you can come back to breathing through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth is a great way to keep breathing. If it gets really hard, it's better to exhale through the mouth than to hold your breath or allow tension to build up. So this is a great tool you can also use in any pose that's sort of bringing you to the edge, where you maybe struggling a bit. It can be a great way to release tension in labor as well. So just play around with it, and don't be afraid to use sound with the exhale, especially a lower vibration sound. It can really provide some great help in times that you struggle. Okay, so from here we're going to now move into downward facing dog. So a few options. Perhaps you'll be completely alright with just moving into a standard version of, so tucking your toes, moving the palms slightly forward and lifting the sit bones towards the ground. Of course, opening your feet as wide as it feels good for you. So this is something that you now really adjust according to the phase in the pregnancy that you're in. So depending on the trimester, on how big the baby is and so on. And you can bend the knees and gently walk the feet out. Gently sway the hips from side to side, bending one knee then the other. And if this is too much for your wrists, you can grab blocks and just place one block underneath each palm and do the same thing. So this should provide a bit more, it should relieve some pressure in the wrists. Okay, now if this is too much still for you, like it's not working for you at all anymore, you can do a modified version of down dog, which is coming on your knees and reaching the arms to the front. So puppy pose, keeping the hips above the knees and having your hands, your palms on the ground and actively pushing away from the ground. So still stabilizing the belly and not allowing the rib cage to sort of pop out. So you want to keep everything in line. And the last option, if you just don't feel good in any of the positions on the ground, this is where we can use the chair or a wall, in fact, but whatever works for you best. So placing the palms on the chair and just doing a sort of an L position with your body. And it's actually down dog. I'm just standing up. And same thing here. So you want to have stabilization in the belly. You want to have your rib cage in place, so not popping the rib cage out or collapsing there. And just staying in this position. So there's a few options for you for how to move into down dog. So I'm just going to use the version with the blocks for now. You choose an option that works best for you. Okay, I'm going to stay here for a few more moments. Now you can use that breath we talked about. So inhale through the nose.
Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. Beautiful. And now from here I'm going to slowly start walking my hands towards my feet. Of course you can open the feet as wide as you need to. And I'm going to stay in a forward fold. I can keep my knees bent so there's a bit of connection between the upper legs and my upper body. And relax the head and just stay here for a few moments. Uttanasana. Good. I'm going to use my hands to help myself. I'm going to sort of bring my forearms to my upper legs, move into a gentle squat, lengthen through the crown of my head, and just stay here for a few moments, connect to the breath. And then slowly bring my hands to my legs and pushing up. Good. Inhale, arm circle, and then exhale, release. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Okay, let me just move my props away for now. Okay. So from this position, I can bring my feet to parallel, and let's just wake up the feet and the toes for a few moments. So grounding through my feet, I want to just scan my body from the bottom, making my way upwards. So grounding through my feet into the mat and growing tall through the crown of the head. I want to have my legs slightly active. I want to have my pelvis in a nice neutral position. And then if you remember, the rib cage above my pelvis, shoulders above my rib cage, chin nice and parallel to the ground, and the tip of the tongue onto my upper palate. Now really feel your feet rooted into the mat. Now you can open the palms up and really have your palms active. So imagine that you're growing roots to the ground through your fingertips. Face is nice and relaxed. And then inhale, big arm circle. And then as you exhale, I'm going to bring my right hand down and come into a gentle side twist. So you want to be moving from the waist up. You don't want to be putting any compression in your belly. So just a gentle movement to the side. Breathing here. Again, if it worked for you really well when we were on the ground, you can bring your palm on your rib cage and just focus on the breath. And then inhale, coming up, and exhale, moving to the other side. Again, you can choose your option. Exhale, release. Good. So let's move back to the feet. I want to now lift my toes off the ground. So if you have your feet on the ground, lift the toes off the ground and then spread your toes wide open in the air and then glue them back one by one onto the mat. And just repeat this a few more times. So lifting the toes up, spreading them wide open and then gluing them back onto the ground. Awesome. A few more times. Spread toes wide open and glue them back. Last time. And glue them back. Beautiful. Okay, from here, I'm going to gently lift my heels off the ground and come onto my tippy toes. Now, balance can be a bit tricky in pregnancy, so again, you can use the chair or you can come next to a wall and grab hold of a wall. So whatever helps you stabilize yourself. And again, so now we can continue moving. So lifting the heels off and then gently moving the heels back down. And continue this movement, continue to breathe. Move at your own pace, no need to rush anything. We won't push this a lot further, just one more time. And then releasing down. Now of course if your ankles are swollen up and this isn't working for you, again avoid it, no need to push anything. Okay, and now making our way to the top of the mat, we are going to slowly move into warrior 2 position. So I'm going to bring my right leg to the back and bend my left knee. And depending again in which trimester you are, so we want to be building the muscles in our legs and all the muscles surrounding our pelvis. But if you're in your last trimester, this may be a lot more pressure on your pelvis. So in this case, I'll give you a few modifications. So if you're fine to keep doing just a classic warrior 2, that's awesome. You can stay here for a few moments. If this is too much pressure on your pelvis, you can move into side angle. So bringing your left forearm onto your left leg, reaching the arm above. And if this is way too much, again, awesome thing to do is use the chair. And then you take a seat on the chair and you move into warrior from here. So you have a lot of support from the chair and you can focus on actually activating the muscles we want to activate and just opening the heart space up, gazing over our left palm. So beautiful 3 options for you. Try them out and see which one works best for you. So I'm going to stick with side angle today. Taking a few moments. And if you feel like it, you can join me in adding a bit of a movement here. So I'm going to start circling with my right arm. Inhale, moving up, and exhale, moving down. Again, don't forget to stabilize the belly, hugging baby in, breathing nice and deep. You can use the exhale through the mouth if it gets too much. Okay, and then bringing the right hand onto our right hip. I'm going to help myself with my left hand and gently lift up, lengthen my left leg and face my feet to parallel. So moving into Prasarita Padottanasana. So have my feet parallel, root through your feet into the mat, lengthen through the crown of the head. I'm probably going to be using my blocks here. There's an option with the chair as well, I'm going to show you. And grabbing my blocks, one in each hand, slowly making my way into a forward fold, placing the blocks underneath my shoulders and breathing here. So again, you want to have that stabilization present. You want to have your muscles engaged. And taking a few more moments. So while you guys stay here, I'm going to show you the chair pose variations. You open your feet wide, feet are parallel, and again you can move now into a position that works for you. So either on your forearms, perhaps you're going to come onto your palms, perhaps you want a level up and you want to just stay somewhere here. So the chair can be a really great tool. Okay, another few moments. So you want to also make sure you're not collapsing here into the blocks. You want to be pushing away from the floor. Good, and then gently bring your palms to your hips and gently rising up. Awesome, I'm turning the right toes to face to the right side and moving into warrior 2 on the other side. So again, find your best option for today, either with the chair or without a chair. Again, I'm going to use side angle. And also add a movement if you feel like that works for you today. So inhale and exhale. Activate through your feet. Make sure your legs are nice and strong. Your breath is present. Okay, 2 more. And last one. Bring the palm to your left hip. I'm going to help myself with my hand. Lift up and then face the toes to parallel, and then shimmy my feet back to a bit wider than hip width. So from here, before we start moving back into more restorative poses and just making our way towards the ground, I'm going to do a few squats. So like we said, we want to engage and strengthen all the muscles around our pelvis, and squats are a great way to do this. So feet a bit wider than hips, and then gently coming into a squat or Utkatasana variation. Now you can have your arms reaching forward. If it's too much, bring them to your heart space. So again, choose an option that works for you, and remember, a bit of stabilization in the belly, don't collapse in your rib cage, and breathe. Now this is a great pose to use the exhale through the mouth, to really use it when it gets sort of it gets really intense in this pose. Okay, and then from your feet, root your feet into the ground and push away from the ground with your feet, if that makes sense. You're really going to feel that engagement, the chain reaction through the whole muscles when you make your way up, if you just bring your attention to that. Awesome. Now shake your legs out a bit. You can even do a few circles just to release some tension. We'll do 2 more rounds. Okay, now we're going to move into round 2. So either squatting here again, and just a few more pointers. Make sure your knees are facing or turning in the same direction as your toes are. And again, you don't have to go too deep. Another great option to use is the wall. Now this is a pillow, but imagine it's a wall. So just coming up to a wall and leaning into the wall and just holding the pose here for a few moments. And again, use the breath. Grow tall through the crown of the head. And then use your hands as well to get out of the pose and perhaps shake it off a bit. Again, you can add in a few circular movements with the hips just to release the tension. Awesome. And last round. So again, choose the option that works for you. I'm going to choose the first option we did. So coming into a squat, breathing, relaxed face, relaxed jaw. Another 3, 2, and 1. Push away from the ground, lift up, and shake your legs out gently. Release the tension. Awesome. Okay, we'll slowly start moving back to the ground. I'm going to make our way to Malasana, so I'm going to grab a bolster for this. I'm going to place it on the ground and move my feet a bit wider, coming into a wide-legged squat and just sitting on the bolster. Now if you need more support, you can always, again, add an extra pillow, bolster, whatever you're using, or you can layer up a few bricks or blocks and you can take a seat on that. So modify so that it doesn't strain you too much, so that it feels good for you. Okay,
And taking a few moments here. Now you can bring your palms together at your heart space, or if this is too much, you can just release your hands to wherever it feels good. Lengthen through the crown of the head, relax the face, and just take a few moments to breathe, to connect to the breath, connect to your baby. Awesome. Releasing your hands gently and making your way to a seated position, whichever way feels good. So perhaps you'll help yourself with your hands, or just make the transition in whichever way works for you best. I'm actually going to grab now a blanket, just because it's a bit lower than the bolster, and I'm going to take a seat on the blanket. So I still have some elevation and a nice softness underneath my sit bones. I'm going to bend my knees, place my hands on the ground, and just drop my knees to one side, perhaps open up in the chest area here slightly, and then bring my knees to the center and move them to the other side. And continue moving in this manner. Perhaps you want to stay here for a bit longer, perhaps just moving it feels better. Okay, bring the knees up and then lengthen your legs, open them wide. And from here, we're going to bend my right knee and bring my right foot into my left thigh. Have my left leg still nice and active. And then I'm going to come into a side fold. So bring my left hand onto my left leg, or perhaps on the inside of the leg, whatever works better for you. And just gently lifting the right hand up. And again, same as the previous two poses we did, you can choose to bring your right palm onto your right rib cage here and just choose to focus on the breath. Whichever option you chose, so this or this, make sure you're not collapsing. Just keep growing tall through the crown of the head, lengthening. Beautiful, and then gently push away from the ground, swapping sides. So lengthening the right leg, bring the left foot into the right thigh. Keep this right leg nice and active, and then gently lifting the left hand up and above and choosing an option that works best for you. I really like this one personally. I think it's a great focus point for the breath. Just the feeling of the ribs expanding and collapsing is calming to me. Good, and push away from the ground and lengthen both legs. I'm going to face you sideways so you can see me a bit better for this. From here, I'm just going to sort of shake them out. Just keep shaking them, releasing any remaining tension. And stopping, and now I'm going to place my hands on my legs and do a little self-massage. So I'm going to sort of go up and down with my hands. Now you can add as much pressure as it feels good, of course, so you can not do not add pressure, so just do it gently, whatever works best for you. You can also pause somewhere and just give it a little bit of a squeeze and then keep moving up. And then keep moving down. Okay, awesome. And for our last pose, we'll move into a restorative pose. So I'm going to grab both of my blankets this time, and I'm going to place them somewhere on the middle of the mat. I'm going to grab 3 of my blocks, and I'm going to place 1 block and then 2 blocks. And grabbing a first bolster, placing it on the blocks, so it's sort of stable there. And I'm going to have the second bolster ready nearby. Taking a seat on the blankets, perhaps 2 blankets is too much for me, so I'll remove 1. Again, you modify to what works for you. And then I'm going to recline down using my hands, so very gently, softly I'm going to recline down, making sure my head is supported and my back is supported, and grabbing the other bolster and just placing it underneath my knees. So I can either just have my legs lengthened, or I can bring the soles of my feet together and then open the knees wide. So whatever works best for you. My palms can open to the sky, or I can place them on my baby to connect a bit more. And I'm just going to dive into a nice restorative pose, fully relaxing. Now, if this isn't working for you, if your back is not really happy about this, you can always move into a fetal position. So I'm just going to show you. So you can grab a blanket and place it underneath your cheek, and grab the bolster, place it underneath your legs. So I'm on my left side, so if you're doing it, do it on the left side, and sort of just bring my bolster in between my legs and just stay here. Relax and fully dive into this version of Shavasana. So there's 2 options for you, you can choose from. And once you have settled, just notice your breath. Notice the state of your body, the state of your mind. And allow your whole body to relax. Whole body relaxes. And if you had an intention or affirmation for today's class, you can repeat the affirmation or the intention 3 times to yourself mentally.
If you would like to, you can close the class with me. So if you want to get out of the pose, just make sure you help yourself with your hands. If not, you're welcome to stay in this pose for as long as you like. So just coming to the original position from the beginning of the class, if you chose to close the class with me. And just bringing your palms together at your heart space. And thanking yourself for dedicating this time to you and your baby. Thanking your body and expressing gratitude to your body for serving you in this magical time of your life. And expressing gratitude to whatever or whomever else you feel the need for. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. Namaste.